Oh, I got a clock in my head. Ooh, where's the clock on my head? It's a little bit at 5:20. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. I hope everybody's doing well and having an awesome morning, day, afternoon. I know overseas it's probably about lunchtime. So, how you doing? Hope you're having a good lunch. We did a potluck yesterday with our coaches. We're gonna do that every week just to have some different food and just hang out, talk about what we want to do to transform the company. So that's pretty good. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. What we do here, and my name is Greg Mester. I'm an Agile coach and Scrum Master. And what we do is we talk about Agile topics and things going on, and talk about some things people email me, sometimes in LinkedIn. If you look me under Mester, M-E-S-T-E-R, you should find me. I'm the Agile cheerleader, right? Anyway, and so I like Agile. I don't know why. I just do. And I do this just to do it. And today we're going to talk about time, a couple emails on time and how much time people take up for Scrum. One of the comments was, we're too busy to do Scrum, so we're not going to, we're just too busy. So we'll get right into it. Sometimes I have an attitude, sorry, but it is true. A lot of times we're too busy for Scrum. We talked about overcapacity the other day. A lot of times I'll talk about it's all the leftover stuff that people want them to do because they're so used to doing it all the time. Well, we're going to do a decomposition. So first off, I'm gonna pull out the little marker and a little whiteboard. I gotta go buy a smaller whiteboard. This is kind of too big. So in Scrum, there's only a couple of ceremonies, right? Or a couple of events. So we'll talk about requirements first, right? Requirements. Which is just, you can't even read that. Can you read that? I don't know if you can read that. Which is a story. Right? So, story. So we got requirements. So there's only three things related to stories. You have a sprint planning. Okay, and that includes I would call the requirement part, and I would call the second part would be tasking. Okay, so sprint planning is a two-part activity, all done in one day on the first day of the sprint. And then we have what do you call it, refinement, where the team participates in understanding the stories and sometimes to make up and ask questions and make sure everything's ready, so that when you do sprint planning and you're ready to start a sprint, it's a sprint and not a marathon. It's a sprint, right? And not a marathon. Though I've seen some people run a marathon, they're pretty darn fast. So sprint planning is usually this part of the requirement stuff. Is for a 2-week sprint. 2 weeks. Say 2 weeks is a 1-hour activity. Okay, tasking is another 2 hours. And to be honest with you, this can get cut down to a half hour. But I would take that half hour and I would just put it right back into tasking. So I wouldn't give it up, right? So even if I cut down, I'm all prepped, my stories are all prioritized, and all. We'll go through that. But anyway, so it's an hour, 2 hours, right? Refinement is 2 1-hour sessions per sprint. So that's 2 hours, right? So what do we got here? So that's 1 hour, and that's 3 hours, right? And the meeting, so what we got? 5 hours. So this whole section is 5 hours every 2 weeks, right? And now the other ceremonies that go on in Scrum, which are all important, and I'm going to go why. We have daily Scrum, or DSU in SAFE, right? It's a daily stand-up. That is, we do 15 minutes a day. Now, you don't have to do daily stand-up on the first day, because the first day you're playing anyhow, you're really not supposed to be working, so there's nothing to really talk about on the daily stand-up, right? So total, if you take all that together, so you got 0.25 times 9 days equals 2.25 hours for the whole time. You have a demo or review, right? That's 1 hour. And you have a retro, which I think everybody should do retros, and that's 1 hour. So that's 2.25, 3.25, 4.25. 2.5 hours. So if you add that number for the ceremonies, those are pure Scrum stuff, right? And that you're talking 9.25 hours, right? Approximately, right? Is that right? Oh, what am I saying? It's not 4. Bad math. It's actually 3. No, it is 4. Yeah, it's 4. 4.25. Yeah. Okay. 4.9.25. So that is the same as about 13%. That gives you 87% the code. So with Scrum, well, it's math all over the place, right? You have over 70 hours to code. So that leaves everybody 70 hours of coding time, right? I did some math on this one day, and what I figured, so you got 70 hours. If you're doing Waterfall, and I've done program management for, I'm going to include the Agile program management stuff, 30 years. So I've done a lot of project announcements. I've done a lot of planning. I've done a lot of requirements analysis. Wrote a lot of specs in my time. What I figured out based on a project the last 6 months, that you will spend, so we're spending 13% here in Scrum on the Scrum activities. The same type of work, you'll spend 20% of your time in a waterfall type project. Okay, so that saves you 7% of your time. Now, what that is, let me see, get my little phone out. I can't do the math, right? So what's 7%? 7, come on, phone. God, we want tech to work so quick, right? Well, in my day, we didn't have any of this stuff. Oops. Well, it would help if I hit the right button. That's what you get for 7 a.m. in the morning, right? I think my kid's playing with my phone. So I do 0.7 clear. 0.07 times 40 equals an extra 2.8 hours in your week, in your 2 weeks. No, in a week. So the difference between Scrum and Waterfall is you get an extra 2.8 hours per week to do coding, right? Because that's the difference between 20% and 13% is 7%. And if I times 7 times 40, yep, 2.8 hours. So you can do Waterfall and lose 2.8 hours for dev time and having some fun. Personally, so I would take a percentage, just like the tax man, right? So, and Waterfall, so you're getting 2.8 hours back in your time for the 40 hours a week, right? So take at least a half hour to an hour of that 2.8 and have some fun, right? This is what I gotta say. So enjoy it, right? Have some, you don't put it all, but, well, we need to use all that for work. My take is, don't use it. Use it for having fun and doing some activities where you get closer to the team. Okay. So just from a time perspective, we talked about that. So now we'll talk about what to do about it. So it shows you that you can always show the numbers. I should post the numbers. I have a blog post about the time one time on my personal blog. So you got 2.8 hours back of a week to do stuff, which is a lot of time for those that said they can't spend a couple hours doing Scrum related activities. Personally, I would start having a mini revolt because you're probably way over capacity. And I would just say can't take as much work on until we get to see me seminars. I'm spending more time trying to follow up with everybody, find out what's going on rather than knowing what it is before I start. But one of the things you can do, and everybody's got to kind of look at this. If people say they're too busy to code, it's a whole myriad of problems, right? Bugs, testing, not getting feedback loops right away, trying to figure out where I was. There's so many layers where you can peel away and come up providing more time that you could do that. Now, what I would look at is all the meetings that everybody has. Are they really valuable? Now, it's kind of hard when you can talk to your boss, right? You can go to your boss and say, do you have staff meetings every week that report out your progress? My personal opinion, managers should be at daily Scrum. Okay. So invite your managers to daily Scrum. If you want to do this and just invite your manager, hey, I would really like you to come to daily Scrum. It's only 15 minutes. If it's more than 15 minutes, it's not daily Scrum, it's something else. But invite your manager. So the manager comes to daily Scrum. They go to sprint planning so they know what work you're going to be doing, because even if you have duplicate teams, they usually don't. And maybe the manager doesn't come to every sprint planning. Maybe they come to every other sprint planning. But they should come to sprint planning. They should participate and show an interest, right? And encourage them. You're going to have, as an employee, you're going to have to encourage them if your team is not doing it or your Scrum Master is not doing their job. Just to show up. Just, hey, do me a favor. Just show up every once in a while. See how we're doing. And then you have demo day. They don't have to go to retros. They don't need to go. Go to demo, see what kind of code your team produced. Your manager should know what work your people are putting out, and they should see the product of it in the end. If they're not, I don't know what they're doing, right? So managers show up, daily Scrum, sprint planning. They don't have to do the tasking part unless they're a real techie geek and they want to see what everybody's tasking. So they come to daily Scrum, which is 15 minutes a day. They go to the sprint planning part, which is an hour every 2 weeks for the requirements planning kind of thing, which ones we're going to do. And they go to the review, which is an hour. That's all they need. That's all you need. The reason why I say this, now they may say I don't have time. When I was a project manager, because they hired a project manager, I implemented Scrum in the teams all across, Agile, all across. They're like, well, I'm going to fix this. We're going to do it this way. We started building demonstrated code. I set it up because I had multiple teams. I was coaching, scrumming, all that kind of stuff. I did them every 15 minutes, right? So I set up a room as a manager, one room, and I sat there for an hour. I had four different teams come up and talk. So for 1 hour every day, I knew what everybody on my organization was doing, all the projects. 15 minutes was one, 15 minutes was another one, 15 minutes was another one, and 15 minutes was another one. So all the four major projects that were going on in the system for the IT department that were there, I knew everything. So in 1 hour every day, I didn't get a summary report from leads. I didn't get a summary report from Scrum Masters. I knew everything to the individual, where they were stuck, what they were working on. I may not have knew every little detail of it, but I knew enough that if I needed to help them, I can do that. So with that, I knew everything going on over all my projects, all my teams. So I didn't need to do a debrief or something like that. So it didn't need that. So that's the thing. The other thing, so that's time from a manager perspective. Cadence is important. Have your meetings regularly on the same time so people attend. I used to have people say, well, what time is daily scrum? It's the same time every day, 9 o'clock in the morning, because we were all co-located, and it's at that room. And they come back later. What time is daily scrum? It's the same place every day, every time. When is sprint planning? I don't know when it's on the calendar. It's every 2 weeks. Pretty much at 9 o'clock, we start sprint planning for an hour, and then they go off and task. And it was always in the same place. They didn't have my schedule. It's the same day. It's always a Tuesday, or it's always a Wednesday, or it's always a Monday. It's always whatever day it was. And I always love that. What time is it? It's always the same day. So cadence is very important. Plus, people can take that time in their calendar. If you know the cadence, and maybe I don't know which time or hour exactly because it might shift because people aren't available. You can put your calendar and say, replicate this every 2 weeks from now until the end of the year, every 6 months, whatever, for this event, and it makes it easier, and everybody gets used to it. So anyway, we talked about Scrum, talked about time. I think we're at the 16.42 minute mark. Please like and subscribe. 5amMesterScrum. I saw the last visual for the icon. We're going to make one little tweak in the icon thing. So I guess I'll do a big reveal next week. We'll do a little live video shot. I don't know if it'll be in the morning or the afternoon or what. And I'll print it. I'll go to the local print shop, print a little banner. I'll put the banner up there like everybody else does or something. Hope you're going to like it. I think it's pretty cool. It's different than I've seen anything. I give it a little hint, and maybe it looks like the drawing I drew the other day. It doesn't quite look like the drawing, but that was the initial idea and the logo we have. So anyway, have a great day. Have fun. It's Friday, right? I hope it's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Last day of the week. Some people, and you only got a couple more hours left to do, and you got your weekend. Good for you. And enjoy the weekend. Maybe Monday. Don't forget, come Monday, what did you do fun over the weekend? What are you going to do that's fun? And any blockers to having fun. So I hope this weekend you all go out and have some fun and enjoy, because you all work hard and you need to have some fun and relax on the weekends. Take care and have an awesome weekend and awesome Friday. Bye.